So today is September 24th, the second day of fall, and we have some rain. So I think now that it has rained, if it rains a little bit more, it's gonna soften the soil, and I think I'm gonna get out there and plant one of these trees maybe and take advantage of the situation. Well, good morning. I'm here at the lowest part of the orchard, and I'm going to walk around with you right now real quick just to see what things I need to do. It is, well, here's one thing I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get a cover here for this redwood to protect it from the deer. You can see the damage they did here. I'm gonna rake up these leaves too in this portion. I'm gonna rake all these up. I'm gonna trim all of these oleanders here. I'm gonna trim these back, and I'm going to rake up and clean this out. Look at all the accumulation here. Yeah. I'm gonna take this bush out here. Right here, really, I want to put plant some more trees this year. I haven't really decided, but something new is gonna be planted here. Here you see, looking back this way. So I'm gonna rake a lot of these leaves up. I guess more boring leaves to rake up here. Okay, let's see what we have to do here. I'm gonna trim some of these trees back. The oak, so I can walk through here a little bit easier. Some of the oleander. Also, this little group of oak trees right here provide protection from wind, because there's wind that comes up this here. It's like a little tunnel here, if you can see it. I don't know, but there's a lot of wind that comes up here. So I'm going to keep this, but I want to trim it back a little bit. I don't want it to get too big. I actually have plans of planting in this area, and so I want to keep it clear as much as possible. Here's the mound or the hill with the tree that died on me. Right now I can say, because I said I had plans, right? I can say I'm gonna put an apple here and an apple here. So since it rained last night and the ground is getting a little soft, I'm going to start digging. Because I don't dig anything now unless the ground is soft. Well, this is pretty disturbing to me. The fukushu is, I don't know what happened to it. It had a whole bunch of flowers, and then I don't know if I let it get a little too moist, but everything else around here is thriving and doing well right now. But this fukushu just turned on me a couple days ago. Here you see some good leaves and everything, but I really don't know. I'm gonna have to analyze this, but I just noticed this while I was out. A Fukushu kumquat. It's a semi-dwarf. I'm gonna plant this one, but just look how much fruit is on this baby. Whoa. So I'm gonna juice this in a little bit, but I'm gonna snip it and then I'm gonna harvest it and then I'm gonna plant it pretty soon. But my orchard is nestled high in the hills of Sunset Zone 17 in the San Francisco Bay Area. My gardening hobby has turned into a passion that has become a major life goal. Yeah, I'm a newbie at this horticulture life, but I'm determined to succeed. So take a journey with me to find out, will this orchard ever be completed? Hi, this is Boogie, and welcome to Will This Orchard Ever Be Completed? I'm not going to slow down this show. I just wanted to tell you the rest of the sections are going to be dealing with me and my trusted power tools and all the work I've been doing on this property in the past couple months. So, without further ado, roll it! The small branch chainsaw really helped me to prune a lot of the trees in the orchard. I really needed to prune a lot more, but I think I did just enough to make room for the new fruit trees. My plan in the future will be to hire someone to trim the non-fruit vegetation each year while allowing the fruit trees to grow in the open space. The oak trees are very invasive. If all the vegetation was left to defend itself, the oak trees would take over the whole area. A cool thing that I have noticed about oak trees is they grow in all different unique shapes and forms according to whatever situation they're in. I know for sure that I will need some professionals to prune my oak trees going forward. But there is one oak tree in the front of the property that I will try to cut down with my chainsaw. I'll tell you what happens. Here is what the grass looks like in April. I normally pay my gardener to cut the grass, but not this year. Due to my orchard, I decided to fully take over my yard. So here is what I did. Yep, I bought a trimmer and I got busy. The whole time I was thinking, was it worth buying the trimmer? Is it better to have the gardener do it? Look at all of this stuff I had to do. Look at all of this thick grass. And in the first day, well, let's just say my gardener always did this with one other person. It took them one day. It took me like 4 or 5 days. And after the first day, I lost 5 pounds and I've never gained it back. Look at this thick, that was so thick right there. This was not so bad. This is okay, but that was okay. But see, this grass here, you'll see it has a real funny formation. That was hard to pick up, but not really as thick as the other stuff. And here's what happened. I just mowed it down. I mean, this was real work. Actually, I was working on the back side, the bottom part of the lot, and the neighbor came and talked to me. And she was like, you are doing some real work. Like this part right here, this was the really hard stuff. This was really hard. Oh yeah. And the whole time I was thinking, is it worth it? Is it worth paying the money? Is it too physical? And it's just really hard work. But in the end, I was really happy that I did not pay and that I took over my yard. I have found an inner peace in the orchard that is propelling me to keep moving forward with my dream. I know the power of living in the moment, but what about living in the moment while being totally immersed in awareness? One experience turning into another and into another, and before you know it, you are in a new place and space. Living in awareness makes me deal with truth. And when I deal with the truth, I make wiser decisions. Decisions that come from focusing on output, not outcome. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Looking inside for growth. Focusing on what I can control. I feel that the universe wants me to go forward, ever moving forward in mind, body, and soul. What I believe in is everything. What I believe in will form my reality and in turn form my world. I will tell you now that I believe this orchard will be completed, and this inner peace God has bestowed on me will grow. Sometimes I think the key to my success with the orchard is amor fati. Amor fati is the concept of accepting and loving all of life's experiences, including the good and bad. I believe that if I can do this, I will find contentment and be able to deal with the challenges ahead, ever and ever moving forward. Over and out.